Hello and welcome. I'm Charles Aite. The upsurge in LPG has led to an increase in demand for charcoal as an alternative for cooking. The continuous campaign against deforestation and the free distribution of gas cylinders reduced the preference for charcoal as a source of cooking fuel in households. Prince Appiah, however, reports that people are returning to the use of charcoal and wood fuel. Here's more.
Madam Gifty is about to cook. She is opting to use charcoal because she can't afford to fill her gas cylinder. According to her, a bag of charcoal is cheaper and lasts longer than the gas.
So the bidena na ko say gassy see away we filling see when you 1.6 1.7 what you been filling bidena so dey meto
The gas is too expensive. Now you have to pay 160 or 70 cedis, and it doesn't last.
Ukraine, you see the gas no boy dia my cemento. You see Ophelia so na the nasa.
The rise and instability in the prices of LPG is a worry to consumers.
My gas is finished, so I have to use the charcoal.
The Forestry Commission says the surge in the demand for charcoal is a clear depletion of the vegetation cover. Augustine Kofi Jedu is the Ashanti Regional Manager.
Those who are illegally burning charcoal here and there, we want to caution them that it's not every tree that is supposed to be cut to burn charcoal. Yes, so they need to obtain permit from the nearest forest office before they do that. A lot of families, households have turned to charcoal production, and that one is also affecting the environment.
So in 2015, government distributed 50,000 free cylinders to rural communities in Ghana. It was part of government policy to increase access to LPG in these areas. But the rising cost of LPG in recent times is affecting the demand.
First, no, not a bottle. Nobody break 30 cedis. And
a bag of charcoal used to be 30 cedis, but it's now 40 cedis. So we also sell the bag at 45 cedis.
So I call no better on 50 and I'm 10 cedis. The better 45 and 5 cedis. There's a chin 1 cedi. They say I send a bond because they say chin 2 cedis.
Due to the price increase, we no longer sell it at 1 cedis.
According to the Forestry Commission, people are cutting down trees that are not meant for charcoal. To safeguard the forest, the Commission is distributing plants that can be used for commercial charcoal production.
So what Forestry Commission is doing now is to levy those trucks that carry charcoal. We have checkpoints at various locations, and we charge 80 pesos per mini bag of charcoal. So we count the number of bags in the truck, and then you pay something to the state. Apart from that, Forestry Commission mobilize those monies, and then they give it to us to create nurseries. So as we talk now here in the Ashanti region, we have such nurseries that we supply free seedlings to people to plant to protect the environment. So we want to urge charcoal producers to come together as a group or as groups in the various localities. Go to the nearest forestry office, we'll give you the seedlings free of charge to go and plant, so that when they mature, and they are very fast growing as well, when they mature you can harvest them, and then they will copy, you go and harvest again. If you do it in a large scale, You can even export if you so wish.
It is a growing concern that the rising demand for charcoal for cooking in recent times will pose a great danger to our already stressed forest. My name is Prince Apia, reporting from Kumasi.
Gabriel Kume is Vice President of the LPG Marketers Association, and he joins us on this situation. Gabriel, we've been having conversations around the cost of LPG, of which you have predicted what we just saw on our screens. For the purposes of those watching and catching up on this development, help us with some background. How did we get here?
Yes, I think about somewhere last year, somewhere in the middle of last year, the LPG Marketing Companies Association, predicted that by the end of the year, into first quarter this year, we're going to buy LPG at about above 10 cities, and that is what is really happening now. And obviously, if that happens, you are going to push a lot of people out of consumption of LPG. A lot of factors has contributed to this. Obviously, the rising price of crude oil is one of the major factors. But we have always believed that the taxes we put on LPG are so unnecessary. They are really the cost of the continuous hike in the LPG prices. And we believe that if these taxes are removed from LPG, we can go a long way to reduce the price of LPG, so we can save our forest. But what I just heard is Forestry Commission encouraging the burning of charcoal, because it more or less they are trying to legalize it by saying that, look, you can just come and pay a fine and continue cutting our trees for charcoal. I don't think that is the way to go. The best way out is for us to improve the use of LPG. And we have been calling on government to take serious measures to ensure that the use of LPG is improved in Ghana. Recently, government is spending so much money on tree planting. Look at the millions of cities we are spending to plant trees. But we believe that these trees will not live to serve their purpose if we don't take cautious, if we don't work seriously at ensuring that we increase and improve the use of LPG in Ghana.
So, Gabriel, what must give? You made mention about the need for there to be some tax rebates. Tax must be removed from the consumption of LPG products. What exactly must give on the side of government?
Yes, you see, there is about 18% tax on LPG currently. The price you pay for every kilo of LPG, about 18% of that is made up of taxes. And for the past 5 years, we have been calling on government to consider removing those taxes from LPG, because this is a product being subsidized by our neighbors. Go to Cote d'Ivoire. They are subsidizing LPG to the tune of about 25%. Why, if we can't go full cost recovery, why must we tax LPG? And at the same time, we are making efforts to safeguard our forest. People must eat. They will have to have the source of energy to cook their food. You can't deprive people from cooking. So if they cannot afford LPG, they have alternatives in charcoal and wood fuel. It's as simple as that. We are just wasting a lot of money with this tree planting. At the end of the day, all these trees are going to be cut down for firewood and for charcoal. Ghana's forest is the fastest depleting in West Africa. The whole West Africa, Ghana, our forest cover is the fastest depleting. What are we depleting this forest for? It's pure and simple for charcoal and for wood fuel. It's as simple as that. So if we don't take serious measures to improve the use of LPG, all these millions of cities government is spending on tree planting, very good initiative. We don't have any problem with that. It's a very good initiative, but that cannot stand alone. If you don't complement that by taking serious measures to improve the use of LPG, I can assure you we are just wasting those money we are using in tree planting.
Indeed, Gabriel Coming, grateful that I could join us. He's Vice President of the LPG Marketers Association. You're still watching The Marketplace with me, Charles Aite. Now to a story that I believe will catch the interest of so many of us in Ghana and around the world. Barely 24 hours after Elon Musk took over Twitter, there is anxiety about workers in Ghana and around the world over the fate of their jobs. Twitter staff have been told in an emergency meeting that their jobs are only safe for 6 months until Musk completes his $44 billion takeover. Mr. Musk, who made the shock bid less than 2 weeks ago, said Twitter had, in his words, tremendous potential that he would unlock. He also called for a series of changes, from relaxing its content restrictions to eradicating fake accounts. Well, helping us to discuss, Amel Deborah is one of Ghana's influential Twitter users, and he joins us together with Henry Kobler, lead of ISOF Africa and a tech expert as well. I want to start off with you, Amel. Many thanks for being part of this program. What will the takeover mean for workers in Ghana and around the world?
Well, I think for most of such takeovers, you have to wait and see what the new direction is, what the new plan is, so that you go with that. And if there are going to be some cuts and some people are going to lose their jobs or some positions are going to be merged, all of that will eventually come out. But I want to believe that even the Twitter office in Ghana, most of the jobs, I think when they were hiring, it was for 6 months, and then later on they will make it long-term, etc., if I'm not mistaken. So I think the anxiety is right. They have every right to be anxious, but I also believe that nothing so untoward, so different will happen. So they should just wait and see what the new direction will be. Yeah.
I can see the excitement on your face, and help us translate that into the entire tech space. How are techpreneurs, bloggers like yourself, receiving the takeover?
Well, it's been mixed feelings. Even before this was announced, I remember I joined one spaces held by one American media platform, and the worry was around how one person is now owning it makes him too powerful in terms of how the usage will be. And then when I came to America a few days ago, they were talking about it in the light of him wanting to buy it so that it becomes more powerful for the likes of Donald Trump, bringing back. So the conversations have been mixed.
Yeah.
But for me, I think I'm taking him on what he's saying, that there's a lot of potential in Twitter that needs to come out. And when great minds, when people think and want to evolve, I mean, even before the takeover, Twitter itself has been going through a lot of that over the period. And we've seen some of the innovative things come out, and we are using them and we are happy. So as users, we want the best. And if the direction that Elon says he's going really materialize, then I'm sure that we're going to get a lot more out of Twitter. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to what these changes would mean in terms of content creation, in terms of usability, the interfacing, what other developers can plug into the system and benefit from it, and all of that. So I'm looking forward to that.
Indeed. Amel, please hold on, because we have Henry Kobler. He's a tech expert as well. He's been following this development closely. Henry, I mean, we have had discussions about Elon, over the past, bulletins. And of course, it begs the question, what will an Elon Twitter experience be like from your perspective as a tech expert?
Okay, Charles. So, I mean, when you look at Twitter, it had moved from being a microblogging site. I mean, now you have NFTs flying in and all of that. And if you're looking at one of the people that have solely benefited from Twitter, in terms of, let's say, putting in the perspective of cryptocurrency. I mean, Elon Musk basically had, influenced a lot of behaviors on Twitter. And so I think that him coming in, really, I basically look at it from a point where it looks like it's an agenda where he's putting it as a full point. I mean, he's trying to look at a point where he's taking with verification, making a verification in there. And so, I mean, for me, from the tech side, I think that he's just looking at blowing it out of perspective, opening it up, because Twitter has always been a closed platform where, I mean, advertisement in terms of Twitter is difficult for sub-Saharan Africans who want to do administrate on. I think that he basically had opening it up to a more advanced media part. Again, also as an influential tool where people could really use those tools for whatever agenda they seek to set. I personally feel that he's basically just going to toe down on in the cryptocurrency point. I mean, I think that I'd mentioned to a few people that if you're looking at buying anything in cryptocurrency market, look at buying anything that Elon Musk basically influences, because he's going to put in a lot of influence and again also trying to do some level of manipulation in terms of the algorithm to sort of suit what he really wants. Because he's a business guy, I mean, for him to put out that amount to do a takeover means that he's coming in as a business person. It might not necessarily be the values or the concept, the original concept from the founder's point of view. It would basically be going way out of order to do things he feels that should be in a business perspective, a light in terms of influence.
It's interesting that you made mention the fact that indeed he is a business person and is coming on board with the entrepreneurial mindset. Amel Deborah, you also, relate much to the, the sphere of entrepreneurship regarding what you do, content creation. I mean, what's going to be the game changer for tech entrepreneurs like yourself, looking at, the Elon Musk Twitter takeover situation?
Yes, like I said, I don't want to jump the gun. I think at the moment it's still early. We don't really know what really the motives are and also what clear-cut agenda he has to uplift it from what it is now to what he wants to become. But as somebody who has always plugged into social media to spread my content, to engage and build some sort of influence, I want that to continue and perhaps get a bit more amplified. Talking about algorithm and all of that, everybody wants to be seen. And the more these places become so populated and you see that your reach is reducing, but if there comes a proper way where content and information gets trickle down to everybody based on their point of need, more than what everybody else is seeing, perhaps, I think it will help us. And for those who are in different spaces, whether you're doing business, tech, whatever, you want whatever you're doing to reach a certain community of people that have a need for what you do. So enriching that experience, I think, is one of the best ways that users on platforms such as Twitter can benefit, whatever the agenda is.
Great. Amel Deborah, grateful that I could join us on this. He's a celebrity blogger. And of course, let's end with Henry Cobbler. Henry, Elon says Twitter has tremendous potential that he would unlock. From your experience, what exactly are you looking at in terms of the potential that he indeed intends unlocking?
So number one, Twitter has been a major communication tool. I mean, if you're looking at for verifications in terms of humans that are on there, I think you would definitely trust Twitter than any other platform. Again, I mean, most of the influential news and influencers basically is also coming in from Twitter. If you're looking at the current integrations that they've actually just done, plugging in with the audios and the spaces. I mean, just trying to do a bit of copy from one end to the other. Stealing features and just dropping in there. I think that if you know Elon, I mean, from SpaceX, from PayPal, they actually understand that he comes in with a different mindset. He basically just subjects the tech to sort of fit I mean, if you had listened to a lot of the conversations from a lot of the Twitter employers, you'd realize that they're like, hey, bring in Tesla. That gives you a sense of feeling that they sort of like what he's doing, even out of Twitter. And so him coming into Twitter definitely brings in an item of ideas where he sort of will be looking at exploring. I mean, even before he got in, he was looking at building his own Twitter. And then he says, no, it doesn't really make sense if I can relatively get it. And then he gets in and then says, look, I don't want to have boards making the decisions for me, left, right, center. Let me just get in fully and then just put in what I want to downplace. So I think that he's coming in with a lot of ideas. He's done a lot of tweets to sort of suggest a lot of the ideas he seems to want to bring on board. I mean, simple things like edit button to free speech. I mean, there are quite a number of things he seeks to put in terms of its psychological ideas, right? So for me, I can trust that he's going to do a good work. He wouldn't just buy a free platform for buying sake.
Henry Kobler, it's always grateful that I could join us. And of course, his lead with Tech Fab Eyes of Africa. We shall continue monitoring the space, especially when the takeover is in process for Elon Musk. For Twitter. But you're still watching Marketplace. I'm Charles Aite. Let's now delve into trade-related matters because the Minister for Trade and Industry, Alan Tremantin, is calling on financial institutions to initiate schemes that will enable women entrepreneurs access significant yet affordable loans. Highlighting some factors that could improve the economic well-being of businesswomen, the Minister stressed the need to include women in national development agenda. Speaking at the Ghana Women Entrepreneurship Summit, Mr. Tremantin urged women entrepreneurs to also build their capacity to enable them fully utilize the funds provided by financial institutions.
Given the inherent risks associated with the operations of MSMEs, such as their small size, financial inadequacy, and newness in the sector, female business owners in that space are likely to struggle more compared to their male counterparts. It is for this reason that the Minister for Trade and Industry, Alan Tremantin, made a call to financial institutions to develop products to fund women-led businesses.
If we want to help women entrepreneurs to access credit in a more significant way, then we have to identify the challenge of not having the capacity to provide security to support the applications for loans. In this regard, the Deputy Governor for the Bank of Ghana is here. And I want the Bank of Ghana, together with our financial institutions, to initiate a program that will provide guarantee support for loans that go to women. Secondly, if the Bank of Ghana and the banks are going to depend on this guarantee scheme to support you to access more funding, then you need also to have the capacity to manage your businesses. Yes, money is important, but if you cannot manage your business, your business will fail and you cannot pay your loans.
Minister of Communication and Digitalization, Ursula Owusu-Ekuful, advised the women to include digital platforms in their marketing strategies.
About a year ago, I came across a young lady who was repackaging chewing sponge, sari. She buys it from the market, sanitizes it, breaks it into small packs, and packages it nightly for sale. And I put it on my Facebook page and encouraged people to buy it and chew it because of its benefits. I mean, we have the best teeth in the world. You know some of the comments that I got? Instead of focusing on my work as Minister for Communications, now I'm selling sari. But I did that because I think we can all, in our own small way, promote our local manufactured products and utilize them. I only use black soap shampoo for my hair and shea butter products for my skin as well. And I think it is absolutely essential that we use it. And I know that DA is already doing it, but we need to use digital tools to expand our market.
At this year's Ghana Women Entrepreneurship Summit, organized by the Ghana Enterprise Agency and its partners, the We Rise Network was launched to create a support system for women in MSMEs. Here is Chief Executive of the Ghana Enterprise Agency, Kosi Yankee Aye.
In 2018, when we began this journey, we had no idea where it would take us. But one thing was clear. We wanted to support Ghanaian women entrepreneurs together. And why was this so important to GEA? To better understand their needs and for us to find ways to support them as the apex MSME government agency in Ghana. The theme of the Maiden Summit was From Voices to Actions, and it resonated well with all the participants then, and brought along with it the need to set up a women's entrepreneurs network. Today, as we open the third biennial summit, the journey has not been without its own challenges. However, what I have learned is that although the journey has not been easy, it has been fruitful.
And that'll be all for the marketplace. I'm Charles Aite. We have more news on myjoyonline.com. For more, of course, do enjoy the rest of our bulletin, and grateful that I could make it for today's episode. Join us same time tomorrow at 1 p.m.